Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Herbert Martina, and I'm joined with
Michelle Somersall.
This is our first ever table talk for this season, and we just want to say welcome. For the sake of continuity, we, the URSM, decided to go ahead and have our table talk, especially moving forward in this new political season.
Yeah.
All right. Let me first of all apologize for the Honorable Prime Minister, Luc Marcelina, for not being here. He is busy prepping for the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
He is called to Parliament, in which he will be giving elucidations on the given crisis that we were inheriting. Somersall, I also want to say that our Honorable Minister of VSA, Veronica Janssen-Webster, also has a prior engagement, so she could not be here.
Yeah.
However, we are here,
We're here, right?
and we want to share some stuff with you. Last time we were on the table talk, we spoke of possible solutions.
Yes.
Now we were given the chance to govern, and we have solutions which we will be sharing with you. And we also want to debunk a lot of false information that is out there. So that is our purpose with the first ever table talk for this
This season.
this season, if I may say so.
You know, Table Talks was put on hold for a little while after elections because we're getting into government, you want to govern, and for that reason is why we wasn't been posting right after elections. Just getting a chance and trying to get government formed and do what we had to do was the main focus for the people at the time. However, we're glad to be back and glad to keep you informed of what's going on and what we're all about.
Yeah. One of the things I want to jump right into it, I noticed that a lot of people, and when I say people, members of the former coalition, be it MPs, be it ministers, they're jumping all over the airwaves and the radio stations, and they're actually having the gall to say a few things. And then the question is, you had 4 years.
Yeah.
They're talking about stability for 4 years. So show us, other than just being together for togetherness sake and to earn a salary, show us what you've done for the 4 years.
Yeah.
And compared to what our ministers in this coalition have done, our parliamentarians have done, and for how much time now? Right?
What in 49 days or somewhere around there, right?
And we counted 49 days, not including the days when basically, when it comes to governing.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's say 49 days. What we have done in 49 days is something to be truly proud of, and we are going to list some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, they've been working hard from the get-go, also with the whole orientation process that this time around was 3 weeks. I remember when we went to government with SMCP, it was 1 week orientation, we prepped, and then I went to Holland.
Yeah.
This time it's been 3 weeks in orientation. So it's a big difference when you're going through orientation, and at the same time you have to juggle work and get things done, because it was quite a juggle.
Okay, for some of you who don't know, and of course we're talking all across the board right now, we were given 2 seats. First of all, thank you, St. Martin, for giving and mandating the URSM with 2 seats. Because of that, we were able to join a coalition with 4 parties, which is namely the URSM, PFP, the DP, and the Now Party, which everyone got 2 seats. However, I must say, and I must hit a plug-in, that URSM garnered more votes in this coalition because we got 2 seats, but we were very, very close on getting res zeta. And we're hoping that come August 19th, that you, the people of St. Martin, would go overwhelming and give URSM the support that you so look for. Right? So we were given basically 2 ministries.
Two ministries.
We can say basically 3 positions. whereas we were given the prime ministership, which was taken up by the Honorable Luc Mercelina, our doc. We also were given the
VSA.
the portfolio of VSA, the ministry, under the person of Veronica Jansen Webster. And we also got deputy
Minister Plenipotentiary.
Minister Plenipotentiary.
Rosita
it looks like it's in the star. Now we have Dr. Anders Rosita Arundel, who taking up that post.
Yes.
And before we go ahead, I just want to thank the PFP on behalf of the URSM for giving us the opportunity to hold also the position of deputy Vromi.
Oh, from now the Ministry of
The Ministry of Vromi, basically. Whereas we had our minister filling in for the PFP faction. Now we want to congratulate Patrice Gomes, the Honorable Patrice Gomes, for taking up that post. We know it's a very, very hefty post in which a lot of stuff needs to be done. However, I must brag and boast and say that our Honorable Veronica Jansen Webster, she held the fort down. She is capable and more than able to do so. So we want to thank them for that opportunity.
What I would also like to let people know that this time around, it's been a different way of governing.
Yeah.
It's the first time where you see coalition partners get together and really, how you say that, divide the portfolios. In the past, it was always that the Prime Minister will automatically appoint somebody from the same party as Minister Plenipotentiary.
Yeah.
This time, they mix it up because of the trust between the parties,
Yeah.
the alignment with the parties, that we could say, hey, Prime Minister is from URSM, however, the spokesperson in Holland is from PFP.
Yeah. Maybe you should give them an elucidation on what is the function, because the Minister Plenipotentiary is basically the spokesperson in The Hague,
Yes.
and he is the one who relays all matters to the ministry.
Yes.
The ministries.
Yeah, automatically that minister is really representing the country and people. It's like I said, spokesperson for the Prime Minister. Everything goes through the cabinet. The Minister Plenipotentiary sits in the Kingdom Council of Ministers meetings where decisions are made for the whole kingdom. There he will lobby and fight for the interests of St. Martin, what we want, but also protect our interests when decisions are made that can affect us as a country. So there with Aruba, Curacao, and then all the other ministers from the Netherlands, they go into those meetings and they really debate and make decisions. Petrov, and I will tell you, Patrice, Mr. Gomes, perfect person for the job.
Yeah.
With,
His
his background and what he was doing here, foreign affairs. So he already have that diplomatic background on how to relay information, but he also very keen and has the experience for the job. Perfect fit for the job, but I know we are happy that he's coming back here now to deal with Vromi as well.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect fit to get the job done in this coalition, I must say that. And it's a very important position. A lot of people does downplay the cabinet, but it plays a bigger role for the country than people know.
And I must say now that he will be stationed here in the cabinet of Vromi,
Yes.
we have our very own from the
From the
URSM,
yes.
Dr. Anders Rosita Arundel, who is also
So-
well able and equipped
Oh, yes.
to hold that function. So it shows that, we have people, capable people.
Yes.
And here we have also gracing the floor of Parliament as URSM candidates is the Honorable Shamira Roseberg
Yep.
and also Richinel Brug, the Honorable Richinel Brug. These are two candidates who for the very first time was in Parliament or got through to be in Parliament, and we wish them well. But not only we wish them well, there's certain things that they also are working on.
Yeah.
And a lot of time the shine goes on the ministers.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's the executive branch.
Exactly.
Those are the ones who carrying out different things. However, don't mistake it. This is a parliamentary election, and you have to have the stomach for this in order to move forward, because we know that Shamira right now, the Honorable MP, Ms. Roseberg, is basically coming out with different projects, initiatives and one of them is the law, or should I say the legal advice at the help desk. We have 4 help desks on the island,
Yeah.
and she wants to provide legal assistance, initial legal assistance at the help desk. So basic things as in filling out a form, if someone has a legal question that needs to be forwarded or needs to be explored, someone is there with a legal mind to give them the initial advice. And what would happen? They in turn would see if they need to go further. You know, I think a lot of times the bridge between legal representation and just wanting to know information and stuff, it needs to be gapped.
Yes.
And this is a way that we decided, or
MP
MP
Roseburg.
Roseburg decided to move forward. And trust you me, we saw that MP, for some reason, don't talk in Parliament, don't say anything, don't bring no initiatives, and all of a sudden he came up with this brilliant idea. Well, we all know St. Martin, who this came from. So we want to congratulate MP Roseburg on a initiative, and when it's worked out and when it's carried out, we think that it would benefit St. Martin on a whole.
Yes, so like you're saying that during her campaign, in the previous election, Shuri was already in the neighborhood,
Yes.
already with this initiative of listening to the community and giving legal advice for free. She was already doing that. So she laid the groundwork for now that she's in Parliament, and now she can put in the legal work to make it, always there for the people. Very good initiative because, like you said, sometimes the gap is too wide. And if people thinking on legal advice, of course, one time finance come into mind. I have to pay this, I have to pay that. But if you can get that advice for free in the beginning, then you know exactly should I continue with a case, yes or no. And then, the connections is right there where they can get legal advice professionally if they do need it.
And what I like about the initiative, because you can be stationed one place, but it's in 4 different locations. And let me just give you the locations. We have one in the Hope Estate. We have one in Dutch Quarter. We also have one in St. Peter's and one right here in Colbert. So those are the stations that needs to be manned. The intricacies and what is going to happen, times and dates, that will be unfolded. And trust me, it's going to be a pilot program to see if it should continue. But trust me, I know that it will continue because there's a lot of people who needs that jump. Right?
Good stuff.
The next thing that we got on the minister's desk is the fact that MP Brugge, and I know this is right up your alley, right? With the crisis that's going on right now, paying attention to the supermarkets to see if they are selling sell-by-date items, to see if they're sticking with the requirements, we don't want a health pandemic to come out to people getting cholera and those things,
Very important.
and those things. So it's very important. Maybe you can speak about that.
Well, I'm happy that MP Brugge, brought that article out and, reach out to the minister about it. Because when you look at GB and the after effects and the ramifications on how wide-reaching it can affect the general public, very often we think on comfort. It's hot, the lights are off. But when MP Brugge put out that statement, and in my experience as a food safety and public health expert, I was like, you hit the nail on your head, because with the load shedding and with our supermarkets, with the coolers off and on, freezers off and on, food has been put at risk. Time and temperature abuse happen, and you only can refreeze food once. You can freeze it once, you defrost it, but you can't refreeze it. And what we're seeing now is throughout the community, a lot of shops just be closed when GB's off, especially for a long time. And we know some areas they're off 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. There's too much fluctuations with on and off, and really the perishable goods is at risk. You're thinking deli meats, cheese, the meats. This is where pathogens grow if it's been time and temperature abuse. And I'm happy that MP Brugge addressed this matter, because with that the inspectors can really go out there and
Yeah. You
do
know,
their inspections.
what I like about this is the fact that the Minister of ASA, which is Veronica Janssen-Webster, we were in the office and we had this in mind.
All right.
So as soon as this was brought to the desk, it was like everybody's eyes lit up, like, my God, it shows that we are working in sync. Yeah. It shows that we are on a level. For some reason, we are vibing, because this is something that we wanted to make sure that is carried out. And then we got this Friday late, but we got it, it looked like every Brugge was like, hey, this have to go out
no, it had
this
to go
week.
Out.
So it just shows to the public at large that the ministry and parliament, they are working in sync. And how could I tell you about the initiative from Shamira Roseberg if I don't know what is going on? So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we are laced with two ministries, but we're asking you to put your trust further in URSM. This time you voted, we want now your mother and your brother to vote. We want now for your cousin to come out and vote for the URSM. And we have more than, we have people that are equipped on this list to do so. Yeah. Now, it's not postulation yet, so me telling people to go out and vote and stuff like that might put me in trouble. But I just wanted to talk about something.
Give us all your support. We're going to ask you about the rest after.
Right? I wanted to say something for sure.
Yeah.
Because these, I want to give them the respect that they deserve, okay? But the former government, I'm seeing them on radio tours right now. And if it was me in the seat, I would tell you one time, I would put them on blast. But I think for the sake of, working for the country, I think for the sake of keeping your head down and just grinding and just, working because we're in a crisis right now and we have limited time. I think, our ministers right now and our parliamentarians don't lash back,
No.
But I'll tell you one thing. Me, I ain't that netches. I gonna roll up my sleeves because my eyes and ears are on the ground, And I want to tell them this. You can beat up on the ministers, but the St. Martin people know the truth. For the love of me, I can't see people go into parliament and have 1,000 questions on GB when the writing was on the wall. We had reporters, investigative reporters going out there telling people, listen, this is going to happen. Yeah. We had a hack happen to GB. We had now Minister Veronica Janssen-Webster, who was the COO of the company. And we have people Googling what's COO in Parliament too, by the way. She have an extensive report telling the shareholders rep, this is a problem, this is what we need. The engines are past date. They are going to expire. They are going to break down. She have the report. And you have the gall to go in parliament and point fingers on the very same COO that was coming out there and telling you that there is a problem, sounding the alarm. So tell me something. It does they say dunk for stump. Yeah. So here it is, a person, not in the capacity of a minister, telling you this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. You did not follow directions. You were fleecing the company, because I also have reports right here, okay? Whereas former leaders of political parties saying that they're using GEBE, right, to fleece the coffers, right, for their own pet projects. And now that GEBE is in the problem and in the quagmire, right, what you want to do, you want a scapegoat. You want to point fingers. Well, not my minister. Ladies and gentlemen, not my minister. You know why? Because she has everything documented. Okay? And next thing, do you know that because of the negligence of the former government, there's money that was allocated for projects from the trust fund that we are now in jeopardy of losing?
Everything has a timeline set to it. Huh?
Okay, everything have a timeline set to it. You said it correctly. Let's talk about the housing. What did our Prime Minister have to do? Instead of governing this country, he had to fly to Washington to beg them to extend the housing project, the money that is allocated to the housing project.
Yeah.
This is something that they campaigned on, Mr. Summersall. This is something that they decided to run a campaign on. And I had the minister on radio today, or the former minister of Rami, talking about housing is dear to his heart. You had 4 years, sir. Honorable MP, you had 4 years. And nothing was done in that light. You had 4 years and you nearly leave the money expire from the trust funds, right?
Yeah.
You can go for her. But come for me, because I have the facts as well. And you know what? It is easy to see, because once you start in the once you look in the newspaper, you can see what they've done.
Yeah. All the facts are there, you know, what was done and what wasn't done. Just to come back to GB, I know government inherit the problem, the current government, you know, and for me, it's holding everybody accountable.
Yeah.
Government, supervisory board, management board. You know, what I think in the capacity of government, because when people hear government, they think that the Prime Minister could just take control of GB and make the decisions. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And I know the Prime Minister would love to do it, but it doesn't work that way because of good governance. But what I think government should have mandated GB to do is to have a contingency plan in place.
Yeah.
That if something happened like this, what was your backup plan? This is things that have to be in place before it happened. We shouldn't have to be sourcing now for companies to try to get generators. This should have been done already. Supervisory board should have then have that budget allocated and the money put aside.
Yes.
That it was one phone call away after the blackout to get stuff rolling. So government was responsible for making sure they have a contingency plan, supervisory board for making sure the budget was available, and the management had to execute and make sure that the engines was up and running. But like you said, all of this was said in the past. And the papers was there, but government never mandated them to get these things in place. And that's why I hold everybody accountable. And like you said, it shouldn't be no pointing fingers now, because we are in a crisis. You know, people are in the dark, and I'm happy that things is going a little better. Big up to GBs, I must say, a little less load shedding. We ain't out of the green yet, out of the woods, but things is looking better. And I'm going to tell you, people are talking a little more positive on the streets, even up to yesterday. Where it used to be 3 and 4 times, they said, boy, it was off only once in my neighborhood today. So thank you for doing your job like you always do, and giving that little relief to the people. We got to be more proactive.
Definitely proactive and appreciative. You know, thank you for bigging up the people at the hardworking staff at GEBE. You know, a lot of times when current go off, we get frustrated and stuff. But could you imagine you working there and you know that the weight of the whole island is on your shoulders, right? And every minute counts. So when I say thank you to the staff of GBE, I don't only say this on behalf of URSM, but I say this personally. We tend to point fingers and not knowing who's in the hot seat feels it. And I would say this, that the former government, the way how they speak, is as if the staff at GB just sitting down and twiddling their thumbs, you know? It's like, well, we need somebody to blame. Well, not today.
No, this is not blaming.
You were in the seat, and as a calm decision had to be made, and you did not make the right decisions. And that's why we are here today. You can't talk about continuation of government. Yes, that exists. However, you can't mess up the place and then just sit in parliament and point fingers like that. It doesn't work like that. Where is the accountability? Where's the decency?
Exactly.
And then, you know, if people say, yeah, but we have a problem now. A lot of people who saying that is people who supported the previous government. Okay? And with all due respect, yes, we have a problem now, and it is being worked at. You know, it's being solutioned. Tomorrow, the Prime Minister is going to address the nation in Parliament. He will be in Parliament, and you'll hear all of the stuff that is rolled out and the plans, whether it's short-term, mid-term, and long-term. You will hear that. not from my mouth, but from the Prime Minister himself.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you to tune in to Parliament meetings, because a lot of times they think that people are not listening. And you can fast track and you can go back and listen to what these people have to say.
Yeah.
So I got a little emotional just now, Summer Song.
But we will get
Right?
emotional in this whole
I
thing.
got a little emotional, and it went above me. Why? Because I can't for the love of me understand how people can point fingers when they were there, when they saw the signs, and then now you want somebody to blame. It doesn't work like that. You're fooling the people of St. Martin.
Yeah.
You're misinforming the people of St. Martin. You're bamboozling the people of St. Martin. Because this government, you speak of stability. The previous government, you spoke of stability. Stability, stability, stability. When come now, you see that no, it was just a show, just to keep the ship afloat in order to, whatever you want to do.
Stability come in different forms. It could be in a opposition, and this is what the previous opposition did. When they could have robbed the boat to throw down government, they decided not to, in the best interest of the country.
Yeah.
They let them stay together to last their 4 years, because it was rocky all in between. You mentioned that they're talking about stability, yet you rob the people of a chance of seeing a different way of governing, that you throw on government within 17 days. If you are talking about stability for a country, that is something that you would never do to a country.
Yeah.
Because it's not about who's on the other side of the table. It's the people who are suffering when we throw down government, and we have a snap election happening and stuff like that. So stability goes both ways. It's not only when you're sitting in the chair, it's also when you're in opposition that you hold the current government who's sitting there now accountable. Give them the chance to deliver on their promises, and if they don't, then you take action. But you don't pull the rug from under them even before giving them a chance.
Yeah.
So now, and that's when I talk to people, and they're upset because they say, we've been robbed of the opportunity of seeing a different way of governing.
Yeah. A lot of people think that you have to be in the seat. Of course, you don't run an election to lose an election and to be out of government. You run an election in order to be in government. However, when you're given the chance and mandated by the people, because it's a parliamentary election, to sit in parliament and to hold the government accountable, and then you feel that that is the only way you would be able to govern. That's the only way you would have your voice heard. No, sir, there is a way that whether writing articles, whether bringing motions, initiative laws, and all of those things in order to better the country. When the budget debates come, then you can give suggestions and say, no, we want to take this budget post and allocate monies this way.
Yes.
That is what a full-fledged functioning parliamentarian is required to do.
Yeah.
But no, you feel whatever I had over there, whatever was working there, I want to continue. All right? And nothing wrong with continuing, but continue in the right path with procedures, with good governance, with integrity. And trust me, when we went there and the stuff that we uncovered, in those 17 days, then a light came on. Now I know why these people want to come back and come back so quick, because they have different pet projects that they want to continue. I'll just give you one, and this was said by the Minister of TIAD. Okay, there were tenders or not tenders. Tenders wasn't done. When government is spending over 50,000 guilders, a proper tender needs to go out.
Yes.
Okay, other people need to bid, and then a tender is awarded. Right? There was a case where there was no bidding. A company was just handed a contract to do works.
Yeah.
All
I
right?
heard about it.
That is the way, that previous government worked. No kind of procedures, proper procedures were followed. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit down here and say, no, some people, because there was a lot of low-hanging fruits that was picked and shown to the people. However, when you look at it, a lot of time quick fixes is not a good fix.
You put on a plaster. You can't put a band-aid on a
No.
deep wound.
No.
You have to clean it, you have to stitch it before you can put on a bandage. And you still got to take care of it after. So there's no quick fixes.
Exactly. You know, and a lot of people also, they're commenting and saying, yes, but right now we're in a crisis and the Prime Minister is meeting with Telem. You know, we have more things, pressing issues. You have to understand, as a Prime Minister, there's so much tentacles and there's so much things under your scope that yes, there is a crisis where GB is concerned. However, Telem is also in dire need because look at our internet connection and stuff, right? Not only that, but in order to mitigate where there's a crisis in our telecommunication sector, in order to do that, there's things that needs to be done in order to prevent where we are right now with GB.
With GB, I was just
and
going to say that.
not to go there with Telem.
You want to prevent
Okay,
that from
you
happening.
want to prevent. So preventative methods are in place in order to safeguard, because we know with the downsizing, right? It comes with a lot of challenges.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
what I like is the fact that we see that Telem now is coming with a plan of action, how we're going to move forward as Telem. And those are the things that are being facilitated right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, this government is working for you, the people, and they're doing what is needed. But we're asking, of course, to give us the mandate, because we know with 3, 4, 5 ministries, so much can be done.
We could get a lot done.
A lot done.
You
Okay?
know, the ministers really hit the ground running from day one. And indeed, you know, we need to get that mandate if we want to move this country forward in the manner in which we are going. We got some serious issues. There's a lot of serious problems going on in St. Martin, a lot of emergencies. GB is the biggest crisis, but there's so much going on that right now in Parliament you need serious people who's going to work on your behalf, but work effectively. That's what we need.
Yeah.
You know, there's no game for pointing and grandstanding. We don't need that in Parliament.
We
Our
don't
people
need that.
don't need that, and we really need people there now who's going to go out there and work.
Yeah. One of the big wins I also want to talk about, and a press release will be put forward for the Ministry of VSA, is the fact that along with the Ministry of Finance, mental health was secured
Wonderful.
a sum of money. I'm not going to disclose everything, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking in the tune of millions. Okay.
Wonderful.
This money would have been lost. Mental health and the steering committee was busy with this since 2018.
Wow.
If you look at the mental health facility, let me tell you, it's in a deplorable state.
I know what it
Okay.
looks like.
What our minister did when we were invited there, she brought along the finance minister to see basically, and what they could have done was secure and I said I wasn't going to say the figures,
That's
but
right.
millions
Yeah.
of guilders, right? And they were very creative with it. Businesses
Great.
who owe canon fees, okay, land fees, businesses who owe that amount of money, they were able to look into that post and say, hey, we can extract it from here, okay? And this is where interministerial agreements is going, because you had the Ministry of Romi, who deals with that. You have the Ministry of VSA, who deals with mental health, and you have the finance minister, because without finance, you know, we can't get much going on. So this shows that this government is cohesive. This is a big win. I want to congratulate the people at Mental Health for their perseverance. I want to congratulate the people of VSA, and I want to congratulate the minister, because something that took, you know, from 2018, she got it done within bringing all stakeholders, of course, to the table. She got it done within the space of a couple of days.
You know, we grew up in here, the older folks saying everything that happens for a reason.
Yeah.
This whole situation where Minister Johnson is holding down the two portfolios that is attached to mental health made it easier to make the decisions. It was her holding two portfolios, financing there, and you know, it's managed to get things done, like you say, in days that would have taken a long time. Why? Because most of the time, all of the ministries work in silo. I don't know what you're doing, you don't know what I'm doing, but we never really come to get on the table and say, hey, we have a problem, and it includes 3 ministries, let's work together and get it done. Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because mental health really needed. I can tell you that.
I'll tell you different projects that are that was neglected, okay, and they are in somewhat of a jeopardy, okay. But knowing our ministers, we know that they're on the ball.
All right.
Something like the ambulance, fire department. Let me tell you, an emergency shelter, because former government took so long, instead of 2 shelters, we only can realize 1, okay? And this is because of the negligence, because they were not on the ball as they should be. And I ain't going to dress up nothing nice. Sorry for bringing it down like that, but I'm not going to dress anything up, because you know what? If you put makeup, lipstick on a pig, it still remains a pig. So I am not going to dress up anything. I'm going to tell you it like it is. We need to stop misinforming the public just for political mileage. This needs to stop, and the buck stop now. All right. So those are the things that are also in the pipeline, and we're gonna see things roll out as the short amount of time that we have. Okay. But the minister is working. I have a name, and everybody in the office have a name for our minister.
All right.
And his minister, no sleep. Because at 3 a.m. when you get up, whether you're going to hit a little exercise, a little yawn, right? You can see a text from the minister, hey, remember tomorrow we have this person to see and stuff. Hey, remember the memo for the other minister and stuff. And that's how I like to work, okay? So you need somebody in there that is committed. A next thing that this ministry or these ministries encountered was a padded, unrealistic budget.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Because from the budget that they say that we had, the Ministry of VSA alone had to shave off 22 million guilders. All right? So tell me. But I saw it was suspicious. As soon as election was over and they were supposed to hand over government, right? I said, but wait, all of a sudden you have a surplus in a budget? You leave a healthy, robust budget? Then why you didn't pay your officers?
Yeah.
All right? That would have been great political mileage for you. Why didn't you do the things that you had to do if you had such a robust budget? But then again, we see why they have to say that. Because they have to protect themselves, okay? Or protect themselves. They have to show as if they were doing something for the country. But this country was in bad state, and a lot of people was spoke of, how the Prime Minister can say that the country broke. Let me ask you something. Did he say something wrong? Did he really say something wrong by saying that the country is broke?
Well, those are the facts.
All right? Those are the facts.
Minister of Finance concurred. She did her homework, and she came up with a very good press briefing explaining exactly what is what. But with the right people in place, we can get back on budget.
Yeah.
And that's why we need the right ministers and the right people to get, elected to go in and do the work for them. As we continue like this, we're going to continue the same situation, we know, and it's time for a change.
Yeah. We spoke about the Prime Minister saying that the country is broke.
Yeah.
I just want to say a lot of people might have a question as well. Yes, but we were thrown in an election by the tune of 300,000+ guilders. Okay? At first, he said it was 5,000 guilders, but it's about
500,000.
300.
Yeah,
It's 300 something thousand guilders, right? Nevertheless, that's a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it could fill a lot of holes. The explanation he gave me was absolutely on point, and I concur. Are you willing to, the country definitely for 17 days was governed and it was going on a trajectory. There it is, there was a disturbance. So Article 59 was pulled. Okay? Yes. Are you willing as a country to spend 300 plus thousand guilders in order for the country to go and continue on the trajectory? Or are you willing that this country be fleeced hundreds of thousands of guilders or even millions of guilders? Are you willing for this country to be mismanaged and lose countless amount of guilders in our coffers? Are you willing that the people that was governing this country do whatever wheeling and dealing and earn thousands, hundreds of thousands of guilders on the backs and the heads and the sweats of the St. Martin people? If you look at this and you look at this, it is a small price to pay for integrity, stability, and a long-term trajectory in government. And I want you, the people of St. Martin, to be honest with yourself and tell me, what could someone do in 17 days so wrong that you have to plunge the country into a devastation like this?
Yeah, that's what I said. They rob us of the opportunity of seeing a different way of governance.
Yeah.
They rob the people of that opportunity. Most of the time you hear people put out a plan what they're going to do in 100 days.
Yeah.
They only give them 17.
17 days. And then they
Because
sit
of self-interest.
And
Not
if you-
really for the people.
Yeah, and if you look at the video when the young MP
Yeah.
was giving his apology, right? You should see the smug look on MPs that were responsible. I
Yeah.
want to tell you, punish those MPs for yes, we know that
Enticing the young.
yes, it's you cannot do something and plunge the country in a devastation like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've seen what you call anhangers, supporters of these MPs writing yes, but you have to remember that Article 59 was pulled, and you know who put you into a new election. Let me tell you something, is the MPs that coerced this young man, that plunged us and put us where we are today. So ladies and gentlemen, we hope that we have given you some elucidation.
Yeah.
We have next week,
We'll have
which
another
will,
one.
which we will be hosting a Tabletalk. This one will be live, so stay tuned. A flyer and everything will be posted. So we will ask you to join us. The time is 6 p.m.
Yeah.
every Monday. The Prime Minister will be here giving you information and also addressing you. We will have some time for questions as well.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if you have any questions and if you would like to, give us any suggestions, please don't hesitate to link with us at URSM on all media platforms.
You know, we're here, and once again, thank you for tuning in and being with us again. Like the colleague, Mr. Martinez said, we're going to be here every Monday bringing you solutions to our current challenges. You know, I don't always like to talk in problems, but there's challenges out there. Just to look at it in a more positive light, but we're going to be coming with solutions, and we're going to be coming with some good solutions to get stuff solved.
Yeah.
Once again, we are here as always, and we are available to work for the people. Yeah. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my outro, I would like to say that every Monday we will be here, and we have spoken about some of the challenges, as my colleague said. We're talking about some of the possible solutions, but we also have some wins. We also have some victories for the people of St. Martin, to show you that we only don't think about plausible solutions, but we have a track record in the short space of time. On behalf of the URSM, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you can love, like, and share this video to your friends, your family, and to all the supporters, so that we can have a overwhelming social media presence. My name is Herbert Martina, and I was joined by Michelle Summersall, and we're hoping to see you on Table Talk next week at 6 p.m.
Good night.